afternoon, or evening, whenever you're deciding to watch this video. Was doing some thinking today, and I think I'm gonna start playing some older games on the channel, just because, man, there are so many games out there that I feel like the newer generation has missed out on. And that sounds really weird, like, because I remember whenever I was growing up and I was playing, Nintendo and or the NES and the Genesis, there are puppies walking across the road very slowly. Like, oh my god, not the road for that to happen on. Anyway, when I was playing those older systems, well, at the time they were leading edge systems. I remember hearing people say, "Oh, these games are great, but have you played Pac-Man?" Or like, one of the older games, one of the older game systems, or when you had the great difference in the home systems and the arcade. Like, there's no denying that when the NES was out, there was a monumental gap in quality with everything, with the graphics of what was available in the arcade versus what we were able to play at home. That wasn't the case if you had, like, for say, a Neo Geo system, which I didn't. I was only lucky enough to get, at the time, to own an NES and to have a Sega Genesis. The only reason I had a Sega Genesis is because my uncle was gracious enough to give me his Sega Genesis with PGA Tour 90, I don't remember which one, but that was the only game that I had at the time. I remember for a big stint, like, I was just playing golf. And surprisingly, maybe that's why I like video game golf so much. Never thought about it. But anyway, there are so many games from the past that are objectively good. Like, some of these games really paved the way for the things that we have now. And I know that might sound really grandiose, but what I want to do is play some of these old games and, stream them, enjoy the game, but also point out some of these aspects of, how the game works and what makes it so important in the grand scheme of things. Like, I mean, that's what got me interested in game production to begin with. Like, I've mentioned it a few times, there's a few videos on the channel, but like, what I went to school for was primarily focused on, the curriculum was game production. Like, it was the full gamut of the game industry, from creating 3D models, textures, audio, coding, everything kind of all wrapped into one. That means that I am a jack of all trades and unfortunately a master of none. It is I enjoyed it though, not to downplay it. I was able to learn aspects of the industry that now I know how it works. Now I know how it functions, and if I were to make a game, I could implement these things that made me interested in games and kind of play around with those concepts and expand upon them. So that's really what I want to do with this little series, is like, you know, go back and look at things. Like, for instance, when you're playing Mario has a very distinct Super Mario Brothers. The first one, NES. Like, Super Mario Brothers has a very distinct feeling to it. There's a weight to the jump. Why is that so? How did they come upon that particular feeling for the character? And if you change it, how does that affect the gameplay? Does it still feel good? Can you notice a difference? At what point do you notice a difference? These are things that I want to explore. Or, one of the greatest games on the PlayStation 2 that is like technically brilliant, as well as, you know, from a storytelling point of view, phenomenal, is Shadow of the Colossus. There are so many technical things that that game does, and it does well. And I feel like they go underappreciated by someone who's just playing the game because it all works so well. The only time you notice it is whenever it's broken. But I want to look at these aspects. I want to look at the way that the IK chains are handled for Wander whenever, you know, you're walking on unstable terrain or anything that's not flat. I want to dissect that and see exactly what makes it tick and why it feels so good. But I also want to play the games and just kind of have fun with them, to revisit these classics. But I want to talk about why the classics are classics. It wasn't just, you know, yes, they're fun games, but underneath it all, why are they fun? What makes this such what makes it such an impactful title that so many people can agree, like, yes, this is the definition of a good game. So that is my rant on that. It's something that I want to do. I don't know how long it's going to take me to put it together, but I'm excited to do that because I feel like this is an area of expertise that I have, and I want to share that passion with people because I know there's others out there who also enjoy video gaming, and maybe you like the technical aspect of it, or you're interested in it but you don't really know how to get started. Like, not really how to get started, but you're interested in it but you want to know more, and you don't want to sift through really complicated explanations of how these systems function. So I kind of think I have a good way of explaining these complex systems in a bite-sized package. Maybe I don't. Maybe I'll find out that I have no idea what I'm talking about in the end. But I'd still like to try it out because this is something that, I don't know, I feel like it would be fun to do. So that's my plan for that. Hopefully Maybe I'll start working on that and kind of, we'll see where it goes. Maybe like within a month or two, or maybe I'll publish this video and it'll never see the light of day, but that's the plan. All right. Thanks for watching. Keep you posted on what happens next.